Hello? I jumped off the FaceTime. I can't hear you. I think you're turning your audio on Zoom. Hello? Hello? I jumped off the FaceTime. Are you there? Yo, Motss, I can't hear you. Turn on. Is your audio on for the Zoom? I can't hear you. You can't hear me? You can't hear me? I can't hear you. Go to the Zoom room.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
You can hear me? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Speak.
You speak.
I can hear you.
Well, I hear you now, so
Okay, fire. I think I had to reset some things.
okay.
Technical difficulties we overcame because we are problem solvers.
There you go. We do it live.
Bro, I was like, for future reference also, like, there's like an arrow by the mute button and you can like set like a bunch of like your audio settings there. You can select the microphone, the speaker, and if you have like multiple like different speaker systems connected, because I have like my mic, like my audio interface, my my monitor, and my speaker connected. So they're like four different audio like input slash output options, and we're connected to the wrong one.
You're an advanced audio man.
I'm not an advanced audio man. I just spoke about uh, uh, just things, and I guess I just have like devices because I be doing music, which is something I do. Which we'll get into eventually, I guess.
Okay.
Advanced audio.
You want to start us off?
By doing what? Am I just gonna introduce myself?
Just intro the show, like welcome everybody.
Hello, hello. If I end up glancing this way a couple times, it's because I have my monitor connected this way, and it's a bigger screen, and it's mirrored displays. Yeah. Otherwise, welcome everyone. Uh, my name is Moti, otherwise known as DJ Motss. I am the co-host of Under the Sun podcast, um, and we'll get into a little bit more about myself, my career, and my things later on. And this is Alberto, Bert, and
Yo,
that's
it's Bert. Thank you all for joining us, audience, whether you exist now or in the future. We still have to decide if this is going to be audio or video or both. But so far, so good. Thanks for having me, Mr. DJ Motes.
I'm not having you. This is actually your idea too. So like,
I'll still thank you for
you're
joining me on
having
this
me.
journey.
Of course, my good sir. Only vibes, only vibes.
So I think on today's agenda, we have discussing general pros and cons of this idea so we can be cognizant of them moving forward and like account for all that, And then our comments on the Lovecraft country, as DJ Motes introed it as the Jordan Peele's horror wave or bag, right?
This horror bag is deep. It's
Yeah.
extremely deep, bro. You have to understand. Jordan Peele is a genius. There are very few people I classify as geniuses. We'll get to that. But Jordan Peele
Yeah.
is a
So do you want to go first with the pros and cons?
sure. If I don't steal them all, you probably have some issues have, but um I think that a good pro of this would be kind of testing out, like being consistent with a new idea and a new venture. Um, and it also kind of would be a good way to get experience with, um, I think, where a lot of attention and social economy is gravitating towards, which is content creation and especially digital, like video, um, discussion based content creation. Um, so I think those are like two very big things, just kind of being very current with where we are and the way things are headed. A con time, you know, as people who like whoever would tune in, like either being just like the casual observer of the creative um, arts and content, or an actual like content creator themselves, would know that it's like pre-work, work, and post-work, and it's like a bunch of time. And especially if you're trying to do something on a daily basis or every other day situation, it's gets kind of tricky. So you kind of have to be pretty aware of your time management. Um, but at the same time, like, still having a lot of fun with it. But um, yeah, I think that's where I'm
Mm,
feeling.
that
How
was
about
pretty good. Yeah, I'll hop off of that. I'll jump on that. Um, build off of that. Um, about the last point about the time management, because I was thinking, how they're like always saying in like corporate world or like, they're like, oh, turn every like con into like a pro or something. Like it's an opportunity, turn the obstacle to opportunity. But with time management thing, have you heard of this like 4 hour work week concept?
4 hour work week? What do you mean?
Or Tim Ferriss, it's like a guy.
Mm-hmm.
I think he wrote this book that people like, but the main concept in his book of how you get a 4 hour work week is like the way it's been told to me because I haven't read it at all. But is that you like identify what the most important thing is, that
Mm-hmm.
if you don't do it,
Mm-hmm.
nothing else can work, and you just like do that first. Apparently, that's like the secret to like life. You know what I'm saying? So, as far as like pre-work, post-work, and the work thing, for like
Mm-hmm.
since we're doing it like every day, we could probably only do like one thing in between each day, like
Mm-hmm.
make a new social media account, like upload to this thing, and so it'll just make you do one thing, and that might like teach us that lesson of time management. I'm like, okay, I'll do this and like, because the consistency thing, I think, as you mentioned, is like for the pros is like one of the most important skills we can have as human beings, and it's definitely something I have lacking that I want to like build up in. Uh, it's be very powerful if you build up on it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I definitely agree. That's one of the things as well too, that like awareness, is like the first step, but then like action is kind of like the next step and couple steps until seeing actionable results and shit. Excuse my French. I apologize. Truly.
Post. Actually, give me a second. This is
Skr skr.
great.
Chop
Great.
chop. Shit. I use like a very aggressive like screech,
Um,
like a 18 wheel trailer making a like a U-turn, trying to like drift.
oh,
It's just aggressive for no reason. It's like even extended longer than the actual word was for no reason.
let me know if you can
Like,
hear this.
The views and opinions expressed by the hosts of Under the Sun do not necessarily state or reflect those of the company and its management. Furthermore, the views and opinions of the guests do not reflect those of the hosts, the Under the Sun show, the management, and the network.
All right, so now I got that out of the way.
bro, I don't even stress. That's all. That's all.
I think it's mainly funny.
That's hilarious. I really like that. Just randomly.
Yeah.
Yeah, ideas, bro. Ideas.
I gotta find a PSA, so I'll just be like, hey kids, stay off drugs and like, vote. Maybe one of those in the background.
They are drugs and vote.
Yeah.
I think that's pretty decent.
Yeah.
Play a part and don't do drugs.
Just say no.
Everything else under the sun works.
Well said. And then you would play it there. They're like, da, da, da. Oh man, cracking
why?
up.
Why would that be? Why is that always like your default like sound of just like trying to trying to mimic something? Your head is always like a bobblehead, and like the sound just sounds like kalimbas. It's like
It's true.
that's
I'm,
like your default. That's you.
I'm happy at least that we're having fun and everyone else will just watch our weird inside jokes. Maybe if you stick around long enough, they'll be funny to you too. And that's definitely, I think, for me, an underrated pro. Like we could have fun, which is something that is good.
I think so. I think so. And even we'll discuss later. I have like ideas for things. Um, just also just like tips from the homie who like she is a curator, manager, and kind of creative consultant and marketer. And she's like very in the know about like how to do exactly what we're doing. So it'll
Well,
be
first, I was gonna say what could be cool if we get an audience. We can get the live feedback on the iterations, like what should we do next as far as ideas. But then we could even have like we'll bring up this person. We have like literal networking sessions as like an episode. Like
yeah, bro. No, actually though, honestly, like and like I'm very down because I'm also gonna see her probably in a couple weeks.
I'm
I'll
crazy.
just be like, yo, Bert,
I
we have we have a video and we have the homie here, so like we're just gonna like talk about a bunch of things. And I know for a fact that she's gonna be down. Cause like
wow.
we're just gonna like chill out, you know, have a brewski and just be like, yo,
The Moti Tazo tea. The Moti like brand.
the
Did you?
multi
We're gonna get you sponsored. That'll be like the goal.
the
Like
goals get me sponsored. Yo, bro, if I'm sponsored after like the 5 weeks we do this, that would be crazy.
you're gonna have your own flavor of tea from Tazo tea, bro. Just wait on it.
Why is it just Tazo, bro? Tazo is not even like shout out to Tazo though, but like they're
Yeah,
not even
if you're listening, like
but like they're not even like they're like cool, but like bro, like what is it? Celestial, I think it's Celestial, not Celestial Seasoning. No, Bigelow. Bigelow is where it's at, bro.
I literally don't know anything. That's why. That's how whack I am in the tea.
Cheese, bro.
Tazo. Like
Bigelow's where it's at. There's another one actually, but I can't remember what the brand is called right now. But I think I need to upgrade to loose leaf. Loose leaf is like nice, actually like fresh. You're not interacting with bags that have been like sealed with some weird stuff. You kind of have to, you know, get that real tea, that nice straight leaf.
you gotta grow your own spices, man. The tea, the mint.
I gotta grow my own spices. I ain't got that bandwidth right now, bro. I can't do it.
Just put some dirt and some let it grow.
And just on my hands. Get out of here. Please.
Speaking of sponsorship and ideas,
Mhm.
you gotta make a Patreon. So we're gonna be like, I mean, that's my opinion, of course. If you don't think it's a good,
Do a Patreon, get some money.
yeah, it's like, hey guys,
Give us a quarter
yeah, for real. My
per
chips and
episode.
guac from Chipotle, like,
Yo, for real, bro. We could do like a quid pro quo situation. So like every like 10th episode we do like a giveaway. We could like pull like money like every week we put like $10 aside.
on that type of like wave, I was thinking, you because like you make music and you can be like, oh, we'll make a song for you if you donate, and then I'm like, wait, that's just hiring you. That's just people getting you a job, like, or
We'll make a song for you if you donate.
yeah. Well, at the very least, I was thinking we could shout people out. Like I've seen it, like, oh, thanks to so and so.
Yeah, we could do shout outs.
Yeah,
Bro, they're ideas, man. They're ideas. We'll see what happens, though. We'll see what happens.
cool. All right,
Um,
so I got a few more things on the pros and cons. So pros
okay.
first. For posterity, I think could be funny or positive. Like, we have kids one day and we're like, okay, this is what your dad was like when he was a goon. And by goon here, I mean like kind of an imbecile. But and then I have a small comment here about 808s from Kanye. I just think of it as like a personal journal that like Kanye gave to the world. This could also go in the con category, but the pro is like you have your own personal journal. It's like you can see how you personally have developed over time, how that growth factor.
So
And
how does this go into the con category?
con is that the whole world gets to see your journal, bro. Like,
Oh, I mean, like it's a fraction of the world, right? Like it's really like it exists in the world, but like the whole world like doesn't get to see it.
hopefully, I'm still trying to stay like low key. You can blow up, and I'll
Bro, no, I'm also like honestly like I'm not trying to like blow up, bro. Because like if you just study society, man, like you see what happens.
it's true.
It's different, bro. Like once you get to a certain place, like now you just have to start moving different, rolling different.
Like we talked about, you have to have the armed guards, like literally.
Literally, bro. Like
Oh,
you have
shit.
to just have them, and I personally in life, I don't think I want to be in a situation where I need armed guards. Like
Okay, so
my
in
best.
addition to the Patreon, I'll put only 3 episodes up at a time. Like,
Oh, yo, easy, bro. You gotta cycle that. You gotta
yeah,
cycle that down. Yeah, easy.
okay.
After we fit like episode 4, then you remove episode 1 and then put 2, 3, 4.
We'll always look good because like each time will be a better one than the previous one.
Yeah, it's just bro. It's like genius. And then if you want to go back, they go back and they're like, "Yo, these guys were goons, bro. But they're better now."
The prequel.
Like we're gonna get so much better in like a week, bro. Like just watch like how we're gonna be. Like we're gonna have like the all background set up. Our lighting is gonna be fire. We're gonna be like, all right, so Bert, bro, this weekend was crazy. We don't even like. We'll probably not even lead up with like any kind of like premise really. Just like we'll probably already be talking before and be like, I hold up on what you're about to say. Let's just start. I'm
and
gonna find a location in my house. Actually, no. Do you know what's perfect? Right behind me. You see that? You see that futon? There's a painting of Ray Charles right above me.
hmm,
I'm going to position my camera such that you can get both in the frame, kind of. And then I'm also gonna have this guy beside me.
what is that?
It's a little like tiki uh design cup I got from Hawaii when I went last year.
Nice.
Yeah, I don't use it. I just use it for art in my videos.
It's definitely a vibe.
It is a big vibe. So I have the setup ready. So from tomorrow, I'm popping it off. So you, in turn, get your setup ready. Let's get something done.
Yeah, I gotta get. I don't know. Honestly, right now I kind of like the low, like lo-fi, right now. But
Lo-fi.
but we'll get cleaner as time goes on. I should like set up my room.
You look like you are a CIA handler.
I kind of
You
like
look,
that vibe.
you look like you're in a room that you pay $15 a night to stay at because you're a CIA handler and you have to be low key. That's exactly what you look like right now.
This is the like a Cuban. It has correos, which means mail. It's like Cuban post office symbol.
Means what?
Correos means like mail,
Male? Okay.
like post mail.
Okay.
So I don't know if it's like the
Close
symbol
enough.
of
Close enough. It's close enough to the CIA.
yeah. So I'm like, oh, I'm CI handling in Cuba right now. Like,
Bro, like down to the flannel too. Like you're killing me right now, bro. Whoever does watch this eventually, please, like,
Ah, that's funny.
we're like Alberto for the next couple episodes at least will now on be referred to as case officer.
Cake
That's
officer. That's not bad.
that's what we're going with. All right, cool. Alberto Case Officer Hernandez. Yeah, cool.
Nice.
Appreciate you guys.
So some of the other pros here, I put like the growth and discussion. Like will actually benefit, I think, from having another like mind to bounce off ideas in general.
Yep, agreed.
I think this life, and by this life I mean like, and maybe this like 2020 society, like we're like grinding in our like rat race tunnel. You know what I'm saying? We don't.
Everything seems to be. Yo,
Yeah,
is this? Are we recording this?
this is live, man.
So we don't record it.
Oh, I forgot to press record. All right, record on this. No, but
Bert,
it's on live though, so we could like edit it from the.
bro, this, oh gosh, you are a goddamn problem.
This is the
I have.
perfect beginning.
All right. Well, you know, regardless, there's a lot I can probably do anyways with whatever we do have from the live stream. So,
I don't want you to stress too much though. You know what I'm saying?
oh
Like,
no, bro, I already like my mind has already worked out what exactly I'm gonna
all
do.
right, cool.
I know how to split the audio. I know how to get the video out, and I know how to just layer some stuff onto the audio. Shouldn't take me too long. I just do step by step things. I just block
All
out
right,
2 hours for it, and I'll
clean,
be good.
clean.
I'll do that to Motss at some point.
All right, so another pro we have. I put elevate the people and the discourse. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a lot of trash on Twitter in people's minds and ears, so we try and like bring ourselves and everybody up. I feel like you're giving me a face of like you're putting yourself on a pedestal, which is fine, I
No,
guess.
no, no.
Yeah,
There's hair on my neck, and I'm playing with the hair on my neck.
okay,
That's what I'm doing.
okay.
Go.
And yeah, so you had like the sincerity, transparency, advice. You know, so we need to
Mhm,
have. When we talked before about mastery, accountability, consistency, content creation, time management.
mhm, mhm.
Cons, I put right to be forgotten, jobs, getting attacked and roasted. But the counter to that is on the day of judgment, we're gonna have all of our deeds shown to everybody anyway, and like we're gonna have to answer for them. So like, how bad is can it be that other people know what you're saying right now?
That's so deep because like the much easier counter is like getting attacked or roasted means that people are watching. So that's all.
That's funny. And we have to learn not to care what people think because you can't make everybody happy.
Yeah, you can't really like you just like, oh, you didn't like it? Okay, cool. Well, I'm just gonna keep doing what I'm doing and working. So that's like kind of the mentality. I kind of already started. So
Have you heard the story about the old man, his son, and like the donkey? Have you heard that one?
old man, his son, and the donkey.
Yeah,
Uh,
like a two
every
or
time
3 minute joke. I don't know if it's like if we're ready for that.
if it's what for that,
If we're ready for like the 2 or 3 minute joke, like
we're always ready for the 2 or 3 minute joke, bro. I think you come ready with those all the time.
all right. So basically, there's this old guy and his son, and they're in their village, and they got to go to the other village, right? So we have
Hmm.
the donkey. We got all the main characters, and so um, they're walking, and so the grandpa or the dad gets on the donkey, and the kid walks by, is
Hmm.
walking by, and so they pass some people, and they just look at them, and they're like, "Look at this dad, bro! Like child abuse. Like he's making his little son like walk, and he's on the donkey like a lazy like bum. Like what's wrong with you?" And so like the dad hears this, he's like pulls over, and he's like, "All right, son, like you get on the donkey, and I'm gonna walk." And so they keep going to the village, and then people are walking by, and they're like, "Oh man, look at this ungrateful son, like making his old dad like walk while he's on the donkey like lazy bum. Like, look at this guy." So then they're like, they pull over again. They're like, "Okay, here's what we'll do. We'll both get on the donkey. Come on, son. Like let's both go." So then both of them are going on the one donkey, and it's kind of like struggling under the weight. And so then the people are walking by and they're like, "Look at these abusive like humans. Like their donkey can barely handle them. They're fat and lazy. Like on top of it, like that's messed up. Like what's wrong with them?" So they pull over and they're like, "Okay, let's both walk, and we'll walk with the donkey." And so then the people are like, "Yo, look at these idiots, bro. They don't even know what a donkey's for. They're just walking instead of using it." And so the dad's like to the son, like, "So what do we think we should do?" And he's like, "Well, the only thing we haven't tried is carrying the donkey, so let's try it out." Just carry the donkey. No, but the point of it actually is the only person you can please is God, so don't even waste your time trying to please people, which is a pretty good lesson.
Yeah, you can't please people, bro. Like they're like there's no way like everyone's gonna like you. Like bottom line, that's just like the way like life is, you know. So you kind of have to like really like please yourself and live for like yourself and what you want. It's a really like deep lesson, man. I think like people really need to like hear that one and like really embody it because that's the essence of social media, which is gonna be a very overwhelming topic in our conversation. We're just letting you guys just understand that we talk about this a lot.
So
That's all.
I think that's like the biggest one in my fear category, getting lost in the social media. Even that phrase attention economy is like scary. I'm like, I don't want to waste y'all's attention. I don't want your attention. Like
You don't want it.
no, I don't want my attention wasted. Like
I mean, like the goal is not really to waste attention. You know, we're just kind of just talking, but also semi-structured, but talking. And
yeah, I don't want to get too deep on the first episode, but
okay, okay, okay.
yeah, so
Sorry,
we'll do that one for later. All right. So I'm ready to talk about Lovecraft Country when you are.
I didn't remember the first episode, so you need to remind me because right now I'm watching Industry, which is very intense. Kids, please do not watch that show.
Okay. Yeah.
But it's it's a pretty fun show. I like it. But Lovecraft Country, episode one. What happened in episode one again?
Let me try and pull up what Wikipedia describes as the first episode plot. So when we
She's doing that. Oh goodness. Excuse me. It's been a long Sunday. I haven't slept too well. Anyways,
this man is gonna take a final, guys. Pray for him.
thank you. Thank you. Pray for me. Pray for me.
Yeah.
Pray for me. Pray for me. Pray for me. Kendrick. Yes?
Does he say
Yes?
that?
I think so. Sounds like something Kendrick would have said.
It does. Let me search that first. Yo, he has a song called "Pray for Me."
Ha, who am I, bro? Who am
with,
I?
with I think it's on the
I'm a
weekend.
good.
Okay. Downvote.
I said a good, not God. A good. Like
You,
the
you're a good.
like the Titans.
You're a good person. You're a good person.
Stop it. Anyways, what were you saying?
Okay. Uh, Oh yeah. Wait, I was gonna try and find something saying spoiler alert
Why spoiler alert?
because I'm gonna like read the plot and like we're gonna discuss it.
Oh, Lovecraft Country.
Yeah.
I lost track for a second because I thought we were still searching
What's
Kendrick.
crazy is that since if we do an episode every day, we can like, I guess we shouldn't talk about it every day, but we can talk about it quite a lot as I progress through it.
More Lovecraft Country.
Yeah.
Yeah, as you progress through, like just like they're like they're kind of turning points in the show, and they're kind of grouped into maybe I think 3 or 4 big sections. So I think you can talk about it like that, where it's like you just spend like this week or the next two, just once every 3 or 4 days, you'd be like, "Yo, bro,
Okay.
so Lovecraft Country, I have an update. What do you think about this crazy thing? This dude has been like doing all this, or yo, like, what is this concept that they're throwing in? Like, yo, the like 60s imagery is pretty intense.
That's definitely where I'm going. That's one of the points.
Yeah.
All right, let's see this.
Oh, ah, yawn. I yawn loud.
I didn't even say the word spoiler. All right. Anyway, spoiler, everybody. We're gonna talk about Lovecraft Country. So,
What happened? What are we talking about?
Lovecraft Country. So it got It says after arriving in Chicago, Korean War veteran Atticus Freeman
Sick.
discovers a letter from his missing father, Montrose,
Pops.
inviting him to discover his family legacy in Arden, Massachusetts.
Adam.
Atticus, his uncle George, who writes
Sick.
a green book style black travel guide, and
Hey,
his
George.
friend Letty set off on a road trip to Devon County, Massachusetts.
Letty, Daddy.
All right, I kind of just want to talk about this part because like there's just so many layers.
What's the part?
I'll just start saying stuff. You can comment. Okay, I love that it takes place in Massachusetts, bro. Because like I don't know if you peeped when they pulled the map, but it was literally it said Wellesley. You know what I'm saying?
I didn't see the way this I
If you
was.
go back to episode 1 where he pulls out like and his sister or his cousin like draws
Uh-huh.
like stuff all over it. It's like,
Uh-huh.
"Hey, look at Devon, Massachusetts," and then he's like Wellesley. He's like, I'm like,
That's crazy. That
and
makes sense, bro. That like they be doing some weird stuff at like near Wells.
yes. So I feel like personally connected to this because I'm like, yo, like finally, like we're gonna find all the weird stuff that's been going on in
That's
like
been going on. Like why
Boston, Greater
why you
Boston area.
walking, why you just be walking around in Wellesley and like you think you got to the bus stop but you just been circling
Okay,
all
we gotta cut out all this part and talk about Wellesley. Wellesley area. I should have said like Dedham, Massachusetts. But
you said Dedham?
yeah, that was one of the cities near Wellesley, Dedham.
Oh true.
I don't know if it's on the way or after or something. But,
Anyways, back. Arden.
so yeah, and on that like there's too much of a trope that only the South is racist and like the North is like chill. So I'm like that we're like exposing that reality, you know.
Interesting, okay.
Um, let's see. I think Atticus is a good name. Uh, one issue I had with the first plot because I watched the first episode free on the HBO website.
Mhm.
And just like it was like a one sentence summary, and it had like 6 characters in like one sentence, and I'm like, I don't even know what you're saying. But I think they did a good job of like making it make sense in 1 hour of like how everyone's related to each other.
Mhm.
Um, okay.
It's like the summaries that they give for each episode, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Is that what you're talking about? Like the one, like the one,
Yeah.
like yeah, they
So
usually,
when I was reading before watching the first episode, I'm like, I have no idea what this means. So
but yeah, like it's a good primer because if you then remember, or if you go back and look at it, you're like, oh, okay, this is this person's thing. Okay,
yeah.
this is that. Okay, cool. And then like it kind of helps you like try to like start establishing the characters' names.
So I guess yeah, go ahead.
I think it's a good thing to like have that before, like read the premise really quick because you're like, okay, cool. Like now in your subconscious, you have names floating around. So once you start finding the people, you can start like now putting names to people. And then like if you remember that they're like one-liners, then it's like, okay, this person is gonna like, like get blown up in this episode. So I guess that's it for them. And something is gonna happen to this other guy. So, like,
What a hint. I wonder what's coming. But
no one's gonna get blown up. I don't think.
I've got to hand it to them. I guess that means they did a good job of like developing the characters. Like it makes sense.
The character development is pretty good.
You can feel how they're related to each other. But there's an
It's
asterisk on that.
it's and like right, bro, because you started the show, right? Like, can you describe it to someone? You can't really describe it to someone, right?
Well, I've only seen the first episode, and the way it ended, it seems like it's gonna go in a completely different story. So we've got different angles.
Exactly. So like that's what I'm saying. Like, okay, I'll give you to episode 3. Once you get to episode 3, we'll come back and like we'll just rehash maybe
Okay.
on here or not. But like, bro, like when I was introduced to the show, my roommate was just like, bro, just watch Lovecraft Country. And like, what is it about? He's like, I can't really tell you.
Oh,
You just
okay. No, but
have
I'll tell you what I really like though. I like, and it's my weakness,
okay.
is that when they like make the plot look like semi complicated, and you're like, oh, I'm gonna figure it out, and then they like throw you a twist, and you're like, all right, I gotta see what happens next because like I have no idea what's gonna happen. That's what draws me in.
Ah, yeah, that's the entire show.
That's
That's
funny.
so funny. Yeah, bro. You don't know what happens to the end. Just like bottom line.
But the journey so far is pretty good, which is nice.
So really, bro, like I've said this already, right? And I'm gonna reiterate. Jordan Peele, bro, is a genius. Genius. He wrote it with a couple other people, of course. Like they
Okay.
produced it
Yeah.
with a couple other people, but um we've seen what his mind can do if he's been like the sole producer. And we've also seen how a lot of the way he produces and directs is like the influences are in this show, like very, very heavily. With like the title, for instance, right? They're not talking a lot about Lovecraft Country.
Like one positive, they like roasted Lovecraft at the beginning. They're like, "Yo, he's racist." I was like, "Nice."
Yeah, yeah. Um, but like it's just very interesting because like the way it plays out in the show, it's not like your typical like show title that like just is a show title and that's about it. It like has meaning also behind.
Like I don't know if you remember, but like almost the first scene with actual conversation is between, I guess you call him Tick. Oh, for Atticus, Tick,
Mhm,
and the other black woman who was on the bus with him.
mhm,
And he's like reading the book, and she's like, "Oh, so what have you been reading?" You know? And he's like, "Oh, it's this soldier, and he like fights aliens." And she's
mhm.
like, "Yo, you know he's like a Confederate who like fought for slavery." And he's like, "Yo, man, like X." And then she's like, "Man, you can't get an X from that, man." And he's like, "Look, man, like people have flaws, but we try to love them like where they're at. Like, you know, we acknowledge all this stuff." I'm like, this is a deep message for like first 2 minutes of a thing. Like,
For real.
and of course they come from like these characters who see the imperfection of like racist dudes who just dumped them on the street and like didn't take them like they have the moral high ground completely and like the intelligence to like see this and like emotional capacity, compartmentalize everything, keep it pushing. Like
Mhm.
it was impressive. Uh, okay,
It's
so
crazy. It's crazy that you're getting a lot of this from like the first episode. Um,
as you said, because I had no idea what to expect, so I'm trying to look at everything like where's this gonna go.
yeah, and like it's good,
Right?
and like so
Huh?
the all I'm saying is like you're in the right direction,
Okay,
and just, like keep your mind open in that space already to like everything else that's about to happen.
dude, they
But
made his character. I mean, okay, so for like cons category, this is not even like real cons. It's just like pet peeves. Like
mhm.
I think the alien stuff is just too much. You know, I'm not a really a sci-fi guy. I don't like the gory stuff too much. I hope it doesn't do too much of that stuff. Like,
Sorry.
yeah. Let's see. I'm
Yeah,
going
just expect the alien stuff, bro.
here's the thing. Something I think you would appreciate. I
Yeah.
As scary as quote unquote vampires could be and werewolves. I don't know how factual this is, but from a literary perspective, if we think about vampires and werewolves, well, I'll do vampires first. Is like they're really the way I've seen vampires represented in a spiritual sense is that intellect, they're intellectual, smart people. They're like a manifestation of the intellect without a soul. They're like no empathy,
Did the screen just change for you?
no.
Change your view to uh gallery.
I am in gallery.
Oh, you're in gallery, so it was side by side.
Yeah.
Oh, mine wasn't side by side.
Oh,
I don't know if that makes a difference or not.
okay.
As you as you were, sorry.
No, just that vampires have, from a spiritual analysis perspective, they represent of the human being. It's when the intellect is the only thing that's driving you, and there's no empathy, there's no like soul and emotion.
Hmm.
Just like that is what a vampire is, and like that's what's scary about a vampire is that you could become someone who's like just cold intellectual, like calculate murderer, like you got to take out human lives, like whatever, like because we got to live, like. And as far as what was going on in the movie itself, like as far as being running away from light, and the light is truth, you know, and like can't handle the truth, like has to be in the darkness, like as much as like these scary monsters motif are scary, I won't lie, I was a little scared sometimes. I feel like the inventors of these monsters, you know, I can, that's just me talking, like Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde type, like Transylvania type, like 1700s, like maybe they meant for us to be thinking about that. With with the werewolves, it's supposed to be like the animalistic passions, and like the intellect is gone, and you're just like, ah. But also, it's a monster that can eat you.
That's what?
A monster that could eat you.
True.
Okay. So thanks for listening to that part. Uh, Pros. I like the family values discussion. I'm I'm just not gonna read the rest of this plot line because the rest of the plot is just like why people try to kill them and then it doesn't work. So just everyone find out.
Mhm.
Uh, okay. So pros, I like the family values discussion in terms of like Take was talking to his uncle defending his dad's like past, and then he's like, "Why didn't you stand up for me?" I'm like, "Whoa, man, this is deep." And then like the brother and sister having a fight, should we get involved or not? I'm like, this is like very like real life relatable, like
Yeah.
problems we have to face, and I'm happy to address them. Like the obviously the diversity of like Black American experience, like you have the whole town, you know, all the members of society. There's no role restricted or prohibited from a Black person in that area of Chicago they were in. Entrepreneurship, all that stuff was great. Um, and the one thing I found was a pro, which I loved, like I, he went, I don't know, Tick went out for something when they were like partying, but they put like trap music in the background, and it was like kind of dope to like put like the 50s scene, but put like 2020 music on it.
Yeah.
But this will take me to my cons. So basically, my biggest con is really what they've done to the, from what I've seen so far of the Leticia character, where they really, I think, are just like under, they're doing her a disservice by underdressing her in like every scene. First off, it's not realistic. I don't know if, I have not been to the 1950s, but I know some people who are alive in the 1950s. You cannot walk around the way they have her dressed in the 1950s. That was like not.
Who is Leticia again?
That's the friend. Even the title friend is like weird.
Letty?
Yeah, bro, they have her in shorts. Like that's not. I don't think that's era accurate of the 1950s. So you're just like putting that in so that like you're like, wow, she's so attractive. Like they should hook up. Like that's just like they're just like really like forcing that on you. And I think her character is very good. They do the whole commentary on women about like she's driving, she saved them. Like don't call me a girl. Like they can do all that and show her passion, but just like let her wear a long skirt like everyone else in the 50s if we're going to do the whole like let's make it look like the 50s, like if we're going to go for that, like just go for it, but don't be like, oh, we have to do the booty shorts, like, you know what I'm saying. I thought it was minus sign on me.
I think there's a intentional choice with that because I think the plan is to actually hypersexualize her.
Yeah, I don't like that, is what I'm saying. That's like a minus that they did that.
That's fair. That's fair.
But that part felt, it felt kind of crude, to be honest, and then being so classy and they're just like doing that stuff. Also minus one, like the old people sex scene, I had skipped past it. I was like, oh my god.
Oh,
I mean, I love that we affirm the sexual vitality of older folks, but I'm like, you know, I'm getting old and crusty. I don't want to see these like bedroom scenes. I'm like,
oh my goodness, bro.
next. But I'm happy we're like, hey, you know, like 40 plus, 50 plus people still want to get it on. That's human.
That means you can't watch Industry then. Just as a heads up, don't watch Industry.
Good. I won't watch it.
Yeah.
So my questions right now is like, where are these white people coming from? I literally wrote that down. Like,
Where are they coming from?
like the one with like she stepped out of the car after it flipped. Whoever that person was.
Oh, bro, like so,
And then when they knock on the door, they're like, "Welcome home, Atticus Freeman, Mr. Freeman." And I'm like, "Who's this dude?" You know?
yo, so I think like it's a beautiful show, bro. And the thing with the show is like they don't build up to the reveals, which of them are a ton. And like in very like Jordan Peele's character with movie and TV development, there are a bunch of Easter eggs. So it's now on you as a viewer to kind of just figure out the Easter eggs that he's kind of thrown in there. Because of the play on the aliens and the extraterrestrial life with the 60s dynamic, there's a lot of potential for things to go and happen that you miss because there's usually a lot going on in a bunch of scenes.
Cool.
So it's a cool show, bro. Like if you
Oh,
understand, like that's why I say like understanding the Jordan Peele side of things as well too, I think is important because like the way someone makes art, um, people have like templates, right? And once like you start understanding like some of the tools in that template's arsenal, then you can kind of figure out like, okay, how did they implement that in this new artwork that they put out? And in Lovecraft Country, I'm like, oh, this has Peel smacked all over it. This man is wild. Like whoever made all this together, like you guys are crazy minds, but like feel like I can see where exactly you fit in all of this. It's also right up your alley, like social political commentary about the Black experience.
I
That's literally all he's done.
I enjoyed the scene where like they're going in that diner and then like Tick is like, "Let's get out of here," and Uncle is like, "Hey man, like we're citizens. This is our right. Our money is we have equality." I'm like, or something to this effect. So like, good scene, good affirmation. Like we need to hear those words in our media. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you know what's crazy for me? It's just like how like in some ways that media is depicting a way in the 60s where it's like it was every man for himself almost, but like people were like strapped and like you had to like handle yourself regardless, like because the ops were really like
Bro, it's still like that now, man.
that's what I'm saying. It's still like that, but like there's like a it's almost as if like the way media portrayed the disparity and the like the level of like I guess racism and discrimination that was actually prevalent made the disenfranchised less not scared but less maybe less wary. Um so like now it's a lot more of just people not really like that's why you have like a lot more just like violence towards the black side and or like and why like at least like from like the depiction I'm seeing like in the show is just like white people attack black people are coming out with their straps and everyone's like now shoot off and like you get popped and do your thing. But like now it's less of that. You get what I'm saying?
I feel you.
It's more of like okay now like the white homies they have their shit and they're popping off and the black folk like due to certain things in place or due to just, not really wanting to risk having that out because overall, like, there's already like a very systemic thing already ingrained in how we operate as Black people in society today. You just don't have any way to defend yourself and pop up.
Well, I have a couple of interesting stories, but I don't want to be inaccurate, as this is going to go on the.
This is all opinionated as well too. Everything I just said, I don't have any accurate basis on my or any factual basis on like the points I kind of just discussed about, you know, just kind of what I just discussed. I think it's just like an observation that I casually made that may be a cool talking point or something that could actually be checked in fact by systems that were put in place between the 60s and now.
Mm. Okay,
That's
I got it. Well, no, so I was just going to mention about the like, because I feel like that's what like the Black Panther response is, like, well, we have the Second Amendment too. So we're just going to be strapped with the assault rifle in public. And if you try and step to us, like, this is going to happen.
true.
But I don't know if it's in South Carolina, but there's a couple of towns where basically Muslims got together and they're like, we're going to live in the woods. But they're Black American Muslims. So one of my homies, who's a Black American convert Muslim, he like went to like check out one of these places.
Mhm.
And basically like when he pulled up there, because it's like his cousin knows somebody who knows somebody type thing.
Mhm.
He pulled up and I guess they kind of have like, like guys who check people into the town. And they're like looking at each other like, yo, who are you? And like, kind of like those standoff, like, how'd you find out about us? But then they like found out they have people in common and it was like chill. But that thing like you kind of want, like, it does exist. We just have to go find it.
Hmm.
And the other point I was gonna make, I recently found out that like the origins of the NAACP from like the 1910s and 20s was about stopping lynchings and like death and violence against Black people. But they kind of ran out of money. And so they got funding from like philanthropists and they're like, why don't you worry about civil rights and education? And I'm like, okay.
Interesting.
And so I think one of the consequences is that like the face of racism to people is to Americans, it's like water fountains, and like a bill. And it's not like, no, y'all are literally killing people. Cause like that's like the face of racism.
Hmm.
That as you said, like that image gets diluted, that reality is like washed away. And that this show is like really like putting it right there. And as Get Out was doing, like it's still there. Like
Yeah, I think that's like his thing, and like he's like I think it's very interesting actually. Like this is the way like I do this a lot where I kind of like try to imagine what it must be like to be in that person's mind and like what they've been thinking about and like how long they've been thinking about certain things. I wonder if this was like Peele's like journey, like part of his like end game as like a creative and an artist to like work his way up in like a field that he could work his way up in, get like enough popularity and enough like clout, I guess for lack of a better word, and then decide to actually now start doing what he wants to do and what he actually like how he feels he can impact and send the message that he's trying to send, um, by directing these shows and productions and movies that literally are all just talking about disenfranchisement, systemic racism, blatant racism, and just have it all out there, but like with like the twists of TV and entertainment that you kind of need to make it very digestible.
and awesome, empowering powerful, smart black characters.
Also, that all the characters that he's used have been like, I think some of their breakout movies or some of their like early like breakout movies, not necessarily the breakout, but like big in their careers, like fairly have been Jordan Peele movies. Get Out, Daniel Kaluuya, probably one of his biggest scenes, besides Black Panther. But Black Panther, like this was his, he was main character in Get Out. That's probably his biggest scene, biggest role. Um, Lil Rel, his like friend, the funny friend.
I have to bring it back to my
What?
mind. Isn't someone from Star Wars in there? Like that main Star Wars guy, or no? I'm making that up. I just don't know.
I don't be watching Star Wars.
I think I
Sorry.
embarrassed myself. It's okay. I'm sorry.
In this movie, Us, Lupita, like I haven't seen too much of Lupita's work, but I want to say that's one of the best pieces of acting that I saw last year, hands down. Maybe the best. She like actually trained her voice to sound specifically the way she did. There's like a whole like story behind it. You should watch that movie, bro. Have you watched it? You haven't watched it. You haven't watched it, have you? I
I
know,
haven't.
I know you haven't. Go watch it. Go watch Us. Also sponsored by Core. I'm not sponsored by Core, but Core. I've been drinking your water for a really long time. It would be nice if you just hit me up. Let's discuss. That's all. Also, uh, what was I talking about?
We're gonna
Watching
get Jordan Peele on our show.
what?
We're gonna get Jordan Peele on our show and like
Can we do that? I'll be down, bro. I just tell him
I
like,
would
hey,
feel embarrassed, man. I would be like, as you said, we need to ask the right questions. I think he would having some great questions. Like, how did he? What's his like kind of mission and purpose? How did that evolve throughout his career? Does he feel like he's in the best position to like influence how he wants to influence? Like,
yo, are you writing that down? Write that down.
okay,
And we'll send him all of this in an
cool.
email. And we can also reach out to him on IG and be like, hey, we have this show. It's a really easy, quick podcast. We'll have you on for 5 minutes. And we have a couple questions. We kind of want to pick your brain. We're
Yo,
MIT graduates.
dude, we could be like art, like journalism. We like hit up content creators like, oh, we have a show. Like, here's the questions. You want to like talk?
Yeah, because people like talking about themselves, bro, at the end of the day.
And getting their
Yeah.
message, like what they're thinking about, like why they're doing it. That's like the whole point, right? For us to be like, why are they doing this? Like,
Yeah, I'm just so intrigued whenever I see like some people like for me, I just wanna like bro, the mind is so fascinating, man. Like I've been saying this forever, ever since I like really got into like a creative space this year. Like what people can do, I don't understand it, and it just makes me like very in awe because like that just means like everyone's mind is so like interestingly unique, and where you really see that like in full flow, full force is when people start to do creative things, drawing, painting, singing, writing, dancing, making music. Like
okay,
once people tap into like once people start showing you what they're able to do like with the creative portions of their brains and their imagination, that's when you start truly seeing how different and unique we are as like human beings and individuals. I think like tangibly, you know.
all right, let me ask you a question, and maybe we should end soon because otherwise you're gonna like go down this crazy train. So
Yes, I agree.
okay, so I'll end it and then I'm gonna talk to you after this.
All right.
So thank you all for tuning in to our the birth of this podcast or the beginning of this journey, the seed that
Un-
we're planting
under the sun,
under the sun.
under the sun.
Uh, thank you all. God bless. God bless you all. God bless America.
Why are you making so much noise, bro? Why is it so loud on your side? What was that?
Huh?
There was like a huge, like there's like you like did something really close to your mic. Did you move something really close to your mic on the computer?
Hello.
Okay, you're fine. Don't worry. It's coming out on my side. It may not be in the recording. It might. We'll never know. Actually, we will know because we'll listen to the recording.
Goodbye, friends. Stop.